Can you guys see me okay? So after December of 2021, I decided emotionally that I wanted to get a tiny house. There were some things logistically I had to figure out. I found a company locally in North Phoenix that did custom new build tiny homes. Their name is Uncharted Tiny Homes. They've been super awesome. It's run and operated and owned by this super great husband and wife. The husband, I think, has been in construction for a lot of years, so he knows the ins and outs of it. They're getting orders, so many orders by the month. They have, when I signed up back in February of 2022 to get on their wait list was about 6 months long and a 2-month build time. It sounds like they've been getting busier, so it sounds like in the future they might have longer wait times. But so total, it's looking at about 8 to 9 months, but which even for a new build house is much longer than that. I do real estate part-time as well, and new build houses are on an even longer time frame, so it's really not horrible, so that's fine. So there are some things logistically I had to figure out. So I bought my house in October of 2020. You have to own your primary residence for 2 years in Arizona to avoid the capital gains tax. So if I was going to profit $100,000 on my house and I sold it less than 2 years that I've owned it, I would have to pay a capital gains tax, which could be 20 to 30%. I mean, that could be $20,000 to $30,000 just to go to taxes. No, thank you. So I will be holding on to my house until at least October of 2022, at which point I will at least profit $100,000. We'll see what the market does. I'm hoping it's a little bit more than that. That being said, my tiny home, and I'll go through this in another video, but my tiny home is the largest model, and the pricing has worked out to be about $100,000 plus or minus. It's custom. It's just like custom homes where you can kind of choose what furnishings you want, don't want, where you want to save your money, where you want to put your money. But my tiny home, the largest model with my upgrades, is about $100,000, which is about equal to what I am profiting from my house sale this year. So that's how I got into that money. Some people don't have money, right, laying around. They don't have much in savings. Maybe they don't have that. And so this company that I'm working with, actually, to get my tiny home, they do work with a lender that does offer financing. They do have financing available. I believe it's still something like 20% down on that. So if your tiny home is $80,000 or $100,000 or $60,000, whatever it is, about 20% of that would, I believe, has to be down. Just like buying a home, you have to work with a lender and go through their requirements. Their interest rate also is a little bit higher than a home. I'm not the lender. I'm not a professional on this. I did not go this route. But I believe, if memory serves me correct, I believe they said it's like 6 to 8%, 6 to 10% on the interest rate to get financing for a tiny home. So there's some different options for people if you're not paying cash for your tiny home. Another requirement that people have asked about the tiny home is if you do pay cash, when do you pay it? So this company that I am working with, that I am getting my tiny home, they actually require 50% down up front, 50% upon completion. So if I was selling my house in October of 2022, but I wanted to get on the wait list, that would mean I would have to come up with about $50,000 cash up front just to get on the wait list, so my timing could work out to move into the tiny home when my house sells. So that was one of my first problems that I really had to identify. I would have $100,000 in my bank account, 100,000 plus, but it wouldn't be until after October, and I needed to get on the wait list, so I needed the half prior. So that was the first thing that I had to figure out, was how was I going to secure $50,000 for a period of 8 months. So I thought about taking out different hard money loans. I just needed a small loan for the short period of time, and luckily I had a family member that was able to loan me the money until I get the funds from my house. So I'm very, very grateful for that came up in my life. There's probably a lot of other creative solutions to be able to secure something like that if that's something that your situation requires. But that was kind of my first hurdle that I had to, a major hurdle that I had to figure out to be able to start this process. So thankfully, I had a family member that was able to loan me the money until my house sells. So that was the first step. I was able to put 50% down, about $50,000 down on the home, and that would start the process. So that was kind of the first big step that I had to go through. So watch more videos. I'll tell you what was one of my next steps, and I'll see you soon.